ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to HCS Pro Talk, your weekly Halo esports podcast. This is episode 275, number fat, for the week of February 19th, 2023. The title of this week's episode is, if you fucking couldn't guess it already, it's the HCS Charlotte preview, because Charlotte is literally starts this week. It's about fucking time, Will. Yeah. It's been an off season. We already had an event delayed within said off season, and the roadmap left a lot to be desired because there's a lot of Texas events going on. But who fucking cares? We in there, baby! My name's Josh, aka JK Fire. This week I'm joined by the man in the FaZe hoodie, Will, aka I am Mr. Mayhem. Oh, and in the new Pro Talk FlexFit hat in the store, ! Merch in the chat. Will, a.k.a. I am Mr. Mayhem. Will, how are you doing on this Monday evening?
I'm doing fine. What an intro that was.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's Monday, here to talk some Halo. We finally are talking Charlotte and our probably too soon to tell predictions.
Yes, too early to tell. Yes.
And excited to go through those. How are you doing?
I'm tired as all fucking hell.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to keep the energy up, because otherwise I'd be sleeping right now. Just real quick, I was up really late last night. It was my own doing, but yesterday was spent doing some Patreon stuff in the morning, and then I was building my daughter's new bed yesterday evening and rearranging her room and whatnot, so it took a long time, and I'm beat. I'm just beat. I'm a 30-year-old man with knees like an 85-year-old, so I'm fucking dying. The Ronin, Epic Zero, and Justin, welcome to the live show. Hope you guys are having a great night. Other than that, I'm fine. Will, do you want to know what's coming up on this week's episode of the show?
What do we have this week?
When will an update ever not break anything? It's a good question. We have Tashi's Tantalizing Tidbits returns, as does Luminosity. Again. Pre-Devinator is not happy with G1. We have our first topic of the HCS Charlotte preview, and then we have our second topic of finally we're getting to it. We have our second topic of the too early to tell preseason predictions, where we will give predictions for every single event of the year. And they're bound to be wrong because they're always wrong. That's our predictions. So stay tuned for that. This has been kind of weeks in the making at this point, and we're finally there. Will, without further ado, though, let's get into some competitive news. Halo Rec League signups start February 26th. It's by the Halo Rec League. So if you want to join the league, they have multiple divisions. They also have FFA. You could sign up. The next season signups start on February 26th. So do that because they're fucking cool. Shout out Shio. He's the tits. What's up, Wraith? Welcome back. Update fixes one thing, breaks another. This is by Tashi. Flag oddball delay update. While the most recent update brought a lot of important positive changes to the game, it also brought an unintended bug which causes a slight delay when dropping the flag or oddball. We've reviewed every potential avenue for fixing and reverting in time for Charlotte, and we've made the difficult decision to proceed as is. Norin, welcome back as well. While not ideal, we know the issue is consistent and predictable, and all teams are impacted equally. Any further action would pose risk for a greater negative impact to the event itself, given timelines and or the upcoming release of Season 3. So Chig asked, how is this not caught in testing? Not that hard, to be honest. Don Cut replied, probably didn't test the update to weapon dropping and objective modes, if I were to guess, if the update to weapon dropping caused this issue with the flag and oddball. Kind of easy to not catch something in testing if it was overlooked. And Chig replied, nah, when I worked on testing on Halo Wars 2 and at another studio, everything gets tested for each new build. Shouldn't have been missed at all. And then Wile E. Coyote actually said later that the heavy ball flag thing is only online. I played on a LAN server and it was fine. It was literally just me, but heavy objectives have always been a connection thing to me. It's a tiny bit slow still, but nowhere near as bad. So there's a lot of contradicting stuff there. And we were literally watching Lucid before starting the show today, and he even said that it's not that bad. It's not great. Like it doesn't feel good, but it's not that bad. So there's that. I will say that it fucking sucks regardless, especially like especially from a ranked in HCS perspective, you probably have the best update in the game that's released so far, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. With like the red rack system, all that stuff, like this really was, from a ranked in HCS perspective, the best update that's released of the game. And then that happens. And it's a week before the major. And you're like, fucking A, can we not just have nice things once? Seriously. So it is a terrible situation. I mean, from like just a competitive standpoint, because teams, in the grand scheme of things, right? In the grand scheme of things, this isn't a huge deal. Okay? It's not a game-breaking bug. You can still play the game. The thing that sucks about it is that it directly impacts the best of the best players. The players who've been utilizing this thing, this mechanic, for years and years and years. And I know Infinite's only been out just over a year, but it's like secondhand nature at this point with that mechanic, right? And when that mechanic gets slightly altered, yes, it impacts every team equally, like Tashi said, but at the same time, it is still a negative impact for all that are involved. Juan says on the road, but wanted to say hi. I'm tuned in, even if I'm not talking to chat. All good, man. Thank you very much, and I hope you are able to join the next playdate. I won't be there this week, but the next time I want to get you on the team. Indra and Danny, welcome back to the live show as well. As with Zig, welcome back to you as well. Hope you guys are having a great night. I just don't understand the logic of releasing a big update a week before a major. Zig, so here's my response to that, because I saw there was I forgot who it was. I think it was PJ. It might have been Snakebite that, like, I think like half jokingly, half not said, because they just don't care about their own league. And I'm going to take it a step further. In all seriousness, it's not like the HCS is a very, as we all know, right? The HCS is a very small portion of what they do. And like the update is to address things, yes, with the ranked and HCS stuff, but also with the game as a whole. And I bet that they wanted to get this out as quickly as possible, especially as we like ramp up for season 3, right? So while it does suck, and I agree with you, Zig, like why would they do something like that? It blows, right? Because there is always the opportunity for something to break, as we clearly saw here. And I bet if it was something way worse, obviously if it was something game-breaking, they probably would have rolled back the update. But it is what it is. As for why they did it a week before the major, because maybe the major maybe that wasn't top priority in the mind when it came to everybody all hands on deck getting ready to release the update. While the update does address a lot of the things for the ranked in HCS, like the red rack system and sniper being a little bit easier for no scoping, so on and so forth, that'll directly impact tournament play for sure. The update is for the entire game as a whole. So, but it does fucking suck, man. It sucks that we just can't, like I joked before, we can't just have one nice thing one time, you know? But what are you going to do? Argyle CTF will be even slower. Maybe not, man. Maybe not. We'll have to wait and see, Ronan. We'll have to wait and see. Because from what we've heard from other pros as well, is that it's not. Actually, let's just get right into it with Tashi's tantalizing tidbits.
Yeah.
From a Royal 2 stream regarding the flag and oddball delay, Tashi said you'd probably have to be more thoughtful around rotating and less reactive, yeah? And Royal 2 replied, you can still do everything, it just feels like your buttons aren't responding properly. And Tashi says, yeah, that makes sense. Tashi asks, you think you'll have to change up the strategy at all to work around it? Royal 2 says, I don't know if you'll have to change up strategy, it's just an annoying thing. It's kind of like your BR jamming. It's like something that shouldn't be there. And Tashi, in a reply to a user in chat, said, I mean, it's a bug, to be clear. We did not intend for this. because there was something out there that people were fucking talking about where like, oh, they want you to use sprint instead. So they're trying to cheekily take away flag juggling or like make it less convenient to use. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? The internet, man. It's crazy out there. It's wild, wild west.
That it is.
Outlaw, welcome back. Good to see you.
Speaking of wild, wild west.
Yes. Wild, wild west. Outlaw with the sub. Thank you so much. You get a woo! Greatly appreciated, my man. Shio says, Argyle apparently seems to be a little better with the red rack changes. Yes, I've been hearing a lot of people are liking Argyle, the versatile trash pile. But not so much a versatile trash pile because
it's getting better.
Speaking of which, in response to Tools asking about Argyle and CTF rules, Tools says, my only suggestion for the map would be to make it like Refuge from Halo 5, where you can cap while the flag is out. We did see some 0-0 reset games over the weekend in terms of the qualifiers. Excuse me. Tashi said, we're looking at CTF rules, mainly 3 versus 5 flag for now, but that as well. No decisions have been made yet, and we'll see how Charlotte goes. And Spartan said, I think Argyle is a perfect 3-cap map. After Charlotte, of course. Pitt and Aquarius can stay 5, in my opinion. Those two maps can either be like 1-0 or 5-4. Argyle, I doubt, would see more than 3 caps very often. This is kind of the point that I was trying to get at a long time ago as well, is that I feel we had maps in other Halo titles that were either 5-cap or 3-cap, depending upon the map that was being played. Why can't we have that in Infinite? And I guess my own response to my own question would be basically what has been said before, is that they're trying to keep things consistent for the majority of the player base. And if you make it different on one thing, it could cause confusion. That's what I would imagine why they're not changing it right away, or why they haven't changed it since, right? And they say they're going to look into it now, which is great. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm going to catch up on chat just for a quick second here. Volp, welcome back to the live show. Stussy, welcome back as well. Volp says, watching scrims, teams are still scoring on Argyle. Flag runs are fine in my opinion, but obviously not ideal. Yo, Scoobmeister! Scoobmeister with the follow. Thank you so much, man. Wishing you the best of luck in this season. One of the only mouse and keyboard players. Watch out for Scoob. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. Good to see you. And Outlaw, you're far too kind. I wish, man, but nah. What should 343's primary focus be with Infinite being over a year in? Stability.
Yeah, I can agree.
I know that we all want content. Like, we all want content, right? Like, that's obvious. Stability for me, man. I know that you don't crash nearly as much on console than you do on PC, but man, bullet registration still being an issue, desync still being an issue, the matchmaking system still being an issue. It's just, there's a lot of underlying system things that need to be fixed or ironed out. Outlaw sustainability. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Graceface, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. What do you got?
To note on that, yeah, you fix those issues, and then that makes just the content even better. Get all the network problems out.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been saying it. Maybe you put all your eggs in one basket, get the network problems, all the the registration, everything fixed. And why not have teams work on content in the background while that's being fixed? Then when you come back with everything, it's like an explosion.
Exactly.
Everything's there. You have stuff planned. I think they do need a good. And who knows? Maybe they have content planned already with the seasons coming out. But now we have 3 months where there's they probably, I would assume, maybe that's a problem here. Mm-hmm. It's assuming, but season 3 is going to drop, and they should have their content planned out for season 3 and be working on the next 3 months of stuff.
Absolutely.
Hopefully they're doing that.
I hope so too. Indra makes a really good point that we've talked about as well. Indra says if they actually used the insider program like they promised they would, this would have been caught easily in terms of the
flag juggling.
But then he also says, I really do think they should be running every balance and content update in the insider program before going live. It's there for a good reason, but it's not been used for much since the beta for Infinite. Couldn't agree more. And something I said, to be completely honest with you, kind of already forgot about the insider program because I thought, like, why not have a PTR, like a public test realm for Infinite, which would literally be the fucking insider program. So thanks for reminding me about that thing that exists that's never being used again. Because you're right. I agree with you, especially the main reason why I agree with that is because this is supposed to be a live game, right?
Yeah.
If this is supposed to be a live service game, then try to allow, and now at the same time, there are other live service games that don't have this type of thing, but I think Halo needs something like this because there are so many underlying issues. There's a lot of lost faith within the community as a whole. And like, you'll always have your diehards, right? Us, you guys in chat, those that still play the game a lot. Like, you'll obviously have your diehards, but when you can't have more than one ranked playlist because of population issues, you know you have a problem with the game. And there needs to be, they need to inject some shit into this. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I mean, this could be a long topic, but what does it need to bring a player base back?
It's a good question. Real quick, Fox, welcome back to the show. Good to see you. And then Con and Rian, if I mispronounce that, I apologize. I'll just say Con. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. I'm sorry, what was your question? Well, I apologize.
What would bring a player base back to Halo Infinite?
I mean, the BR would be like fucking Ronan says, a BR would be one thing, but here's my problem with a BR is that if the foundation is cracked like Infinite's is, it's going to be a bad time. It's going to be a real bad time.
The thing that worries me about a battle royale is there's no way to do what Fortnite does with all the collaborations. There's no way. I don't see 343. This is where another company we talk about, I'm spacing on their name right now. Certain Affinity?
Yes, Certain Affinity. Yep.
Like,
supposedly not supposedly, they are working on another title.
Right. But the amount of care that a BR needs with constant updates, patches, new content, and we just had layoffs. I just don't see. It could be a hit for a little bit and then fall off. Like, look at all the other BRs that have tried to come out. There was that spell break or something like that.
Oh God, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like, didn't Ubisoft put one out as well? And it didn't do
that
much.
Thing flopped too.
And it's like you have to continuously
Hyperscape or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
I forgot what exactly.
I feel like you have to really nail a BR. But that's the thing though, is a BR gonna bring population back to the ranked playlist?
No, and literally what I forgot exactly who said it, but Epic says BR will bring population back to the population for only BR and nothing else.
Yeah.
Agreed. Outlaw says, give me 1 second here. Who said that they have? Yeah, Outlaw said it. Rainbow Six is a full test server for new seasons and updates. It keeps the guessing games to a minimum. And then says Siege has done amazing things from both a casual and competitive rank standpoint. See, this is why there's so many, like, I'm going to sound like an asshole right now, but I got to stay true, is that there are a lot of bare minimum things that I think Halo doesn't have yet still. You could talk about playlists not existing that should have existed before, like systems in place that should have existed before. And guys, remember when everyone was talking about, not everyone because we weren't that, but like remember when people were saying that, oh my God, Forge is going to save this game. Did it? I don't fucking think it did. I don't think Forge saved anything. Forge brought creators in, and that's fucking cool. And the maps that people are making are awesome, but like, did it save the game? No. And you have custom game browser. Did that save the game? No. Oh, man. Chilled says they aren't utilizing Forge properly. How would you say they should utilize Forge properly? If we're now, I'll just leave it at that. I'm going to ask you that. What would you say? What's up, Carnage? Welcome back. Good to see you. Space Ghost, welcome back. Good to see you as well. And if I missed anybody, I apologize. It's hard, man. It's hard. And I believe you asked, so what do they need to bring in? Like, what do they need to do to bring it back, right?
Yeah.
I'm almost to a point where, and I don't know how this would happen, okay? For the record, I don't know how this would happen, but I'm almost at a point where it needs like a quote unquote full reboot, like a No Man's Sky. The game doesn't need to come offline or anything like that, but like a major enough update needs to happen that drastically alters the state of the game. And I'm like talking drastically alters the state of the game. Like a No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky comes out, it had all the hype in the world around it, remember? And then it comes out and it was nothing like what Sean Murray was quote unquote promising. Okay. I don't want to throw shit Sean's way. He's had to deal with a lot. And that game, look at that game now. That game is in an unbelievable state and is still getting updates to this day. That's what I think a type of Infinite needs in some variety. I don't know what that would include, but I think it needs an update big enough to shake the fucking state of the game. Lemmy says adding a career progression system would be the easiest and simplest way to retain or bring players back. Right, and I can agree to an extent about that. Also, Lemmy, welcome to the live show. Indra says, I think the situation where Infinite gets anything close to its old numbers back goes a bit in the way of Star Wars Battlefront 2. The game died off for a while because it was bad, but during that time, the game was continuously updated and built upon. Battlefront 2 hit a peak player count over 2 years after its launch with a new big update after a bunch of smaller ones. It'll be a gradual build, but if it's done right, the game will get there. I can agree with that.
Can I say one thing that might be outlandish?
I don't think it'll be outlandish. You go for it, man.
So I think the problem, not just with Infinite, but Halo in general, is that it's been too expansive in its past. There are so many different types of players that you do spread the population base because of it. That, you know, where Call of Duty, right? It's either like you have your social playlist, you now have a ranked playlist.
Yeah.
And you have BR, like the BR, where with Halo, you have people who are into just one type of social playlist or, you know, or just ranked, and it's easier to get people to cross over or not. You know, people love COD because it's COD, right? It's been the same thing for years where
it's comfort food.
Halo has been drastically different every time.
Exactly. But see, my problem with this is why I keep harping on them because they keep holding back playlists for seasons.
Yeah.
Like they literally hold back game modes for seasons. Now, are they tweaking said game modes so they're not the same thing as what you remember? Probably. But at the same time, it sucks because when those game modes come out, sure, they'll be added to custom games, but they're going to be in a rotational playlist that's not going to stick around. And there are players out there who are craving for that thing that they wish were there from day one, and now they more than likely won't come back because they either A, they don't know it's there, or B, they know it's there, but it's only going to be there for a couple weeks. And that brings me back to the whole thing about we never had this issue. We never had this issue with population back in the day. Like back during Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4 to an extent, Halo Reach. We never had these issues with populations being low. So we never had to worry about the amount of playlists that were in the game. And that's why I get so upset, Will, is that Call of Duty is Call of Duty. You know people are going to buy that game. It's one of the biggest sellers of the year every single year. So they can get away with having a shit ton of fucking playlists in their game because then players can play exactly what they want to and not worry about not being able to find a game. And we've never had that issue until basically 5. But like it sucks. It sucks because there are so many players out there who love Infection, right? Yeah. There's so many players out there who love Fiesta, believe it or not. Jokes aside. There's so many players out there who love Team Snipers. There's so many players out there who love a specific playlist. But they can't play it because it's not in the game. And when it is in the game, like I said before, it's only there for a couple weeks and they don't know about it or they don't care because they're not going to have enough time to do it. It's just, it sucks, man. Tool says, need to have, welcome back, Tools. Good to see you, by the way. Says, need to have heavy investments in separate playlists and not trying to cross-contaminate everything. The BTB experience needs to be a BTB player's wet dream. The HCS experience needs to be the same for the comp players, then create support systems to generate content from those communities. Outlaw says, you got to factor in the difference of gaming interests, though. Old school players were dedicated to surplus of games. Nowadays, players want super specific modes and map styles. It's hard to make the new generation of gamers happy. It's hard to make anybody happy, Outlaw. It's just hard to make anybody happy, man. Ronan says, COD knows what COD is. Fortnite knows what Fortnite is, but Halo doesn't seem to know what it is anymore. I feel that to an extent.
Yeah.
To an extent. I feel that to an extent. Lemmy says, I mentioned career progression so players have a reason to play the game. Linear progression is addictive, and add cosmetics you can unlock like each level, for example. The game would feel so much less empty and futile. Lemmy, I agree with you to an extent as well that I believe a progression system needs to exist in the game. And they're working on it. They've said that they're working on it. It's just one of those things that sucks because you look at it, you're like, man, if only this was here on day one. If only Forge was here on day one. If only all these things were here on day one. And I know I can't fucking go back in time. Whatever. Fresh Veggies, welcome back. Good to see you.
But yeah. Well, I just freaking derailed this whole show with one little question.
Hey, that's what we do on the show. We derail. Beth says, they act like if you really want to play ranked FFA, and if it's that there, they'll play a different playlist instead. And sure, some will, but some will also just not play at all until that playlist comes back. We have plenty of other options for other games to play if our favorite playlist isn't there. You're not wrong. I just wish that it was there all the time, as you do, Beth. Just wish it was there all the fucking time. But it's not. Ray, thank you so much, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for keeping the conversations going. And we say it all the time, right? I see there's a conversation going on about Infinite's gameplay. We talk about it all the time. The foundation is there, right? We know that. And I do love how this feels like the perfect mix between classic and modern Halo titles. Because it's not as fast as 5. It's not as slow as a 3, right? It's like the perfect middle ground of both of those games, and I love that. But there's so many cracks in the foundation. It's really, really tough. It's really, really tough. Stussy, exactly, right? Not seeing Team Snipers as a permanent playlist annoys me. Such a fun playlist. See, that's just one example. It's just one example. Carnage, I agree. The potential is there. The game, when it works, feels amazing. What are you going to do? Speaking of ranked playlists, back to Tashi's tantalizing tidbits. In response to wanting more ranked playlist offerings, Foxy Ray said, hey, can we get ranked doubles and FFA back? And not taken out every few weeks? Is that hard? Seriously, can you guys explain why we can't just have it there? And we choose what we want to play? Thanks. Okay. all that, the sassiness aside, Tashi replied with, what we found is that with too many ranked playlists, they cannibalize each other, resulting in poor matchmaking experience, including match time, skill matching, and regional and server. So we're using this rotational strategy to still offer options, but try to maintain the experience. In other words, the population's so low right now that we can't have more than one ranked offering, which sucks. Variable, welcome back. And Zero Shot Kill, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. What Tashi's saying is probably true. It is. It is true. We all know it's a population issue. We all know that. And I said it before. It's why I hate how we can't have the amount of playlists that we used to have. Because we never had this population issue before 5. Now that we do have the population issue, they can't just add all the playlists because then their stats, their data that they look at are going to be like, oh, now everything's spread too thin. We got to reel things back in. So I get it. It just sucks. Oh, man. Tools, I think even with a robust population, it would still be an issue. I don't. If the population was big enough, I don't think there'd be an issue at all. Personally. Beth says, and that's when I scream into the void. If they'd been there for the start that they should have been, maybe more people would have stuck around. Maybe. But then again, maybe if the game wasn't... Okay. One of the biggest complaints that Infinite had, and I'm sorry to derail even further, Will. One of the biggest complaints that Infinite had when it released, early, I might add, the multiplayer was released early, is that it didn't have the amount of content that players were expecting. We all talk about the biggest streamers, right? And how like they all focus on the BRs because that's where the shit is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what did we hear? What did we hear Tim the Tap Man, Dr. Disrespect, Dr. Lupo, others as well? Like, what did we hear these top streamers talk about and complain about when the game was released?
Not enough to do, basically.
Where are these playlists? Oh, I really wanted to play that. Where is that? It's just, it sucks, man. Zero Shot Kill says they're consistently dancing around saying they have a problem. Any person, company that deflects or avoids owning their problem usually means it's not getting addressed. The fact they cannot even milk us via the store well just shows the dysfunction. I agree and disagree in that statement. They know they have a problem. They're just not going to tell you that they have a problem. Why won't they tell you and me and Will and everybody else, the public, that they have a problem? What is Microsoft, Will?
A business?
A publicly traded company.
Oh, they're yeah.
When you tell the public that there are problems, that there's dysfunction, that there are massive issues, stock price starts to go down. And what do they care about more than anything? Money. So, yes, it does feel like they're constantly dancing around it because they're not going to outright say it. If they outright say it, bad things for business. And it sucks because we all know there's a problem. They know there's a problem as well. It's just like I said, they're not going to go out of their way to say it publicly because if they do, bad things will happen. So, we'll have to wait and see. In response to and this is the last piece I have for Tashi's tantalizing tidbits. In response to the potentially upcoming CSR-based matchmaking, Rainwater asked, will CSR-based matchmaking come with Season 3? This was posted 3 months ago with the winter update. And Tashi replied with, we'll have more to say here in the coming weeks before Season 3 drops. So there you go. And Tools, I don't know if you're here for it, but we did also include your talking points around Argyle and CTF in the Tashi's tantalizing tidbits section. Just real quick. Indra says, part of what kept people playing the older games was their ability to tailor their Halo experience the way they wanted. Quick play pushed people away early on because people who never want to play oddball had to play oddball for at least 1/3 of their games at the launch experience. Agreed. Tool says, I think the way they do matching in MCC would help a lot. Let people search for all the playlists they want to play at once. That way you aren't frustrated when you can't find a game. I do like the idea of I forget the system that they call it in MCC, but yes, I would like something like that as well. But I mean, Call of Duty does it too.
Yeah.
They literally let you select the amount of playlists that you want and then it cues you in. Call of Duty Mobile does it as well. So take that as you will. Diligent, welcome back. Season 3 hopefully is a revival. It just sucks that 343 is always a late bloomer. I think they would have learned by now content is key on a consistent basis. I think they have learned, and I think they do know Diligent. I think the problem was the development cycle of Infinite. I think that was the problem. I think everybody there, everybody at the studio, even everybody that was laid off, fully understands what they needed to do. It just really sucks with how it happened. I'm not trying to defend for them. It's just how I view it. Did going free to play ultimately hurt Infinite? No, absolutely not. In my opinion, absolutely not. And thank you, Justin, Match Composer. That's what it's called.
It may have hurt Infinite in like the public opinion because a lot of people feel like the store is predatory.
Sure.
But it's the way they can get those free to play players to invest in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, if you want to talk about predatory free-to-play games, I mean, you got Apex with their packs, Fortnite skins all the time. Like, everybody's, it's a standard now.
I think another thing that will help a little bit, and this is a very, very, very minute thing, but like what I think will help slightly is combining of the shoulder pieces into one tier.
Oh, yeah.
Like, these little battle pass things that, like, make the battle passes more worth it to go through. I know that Fortnite has been doing this for a long time, but like you look at the Fortnite battle pass for this season and like every page has something pretty fucking cool to get.
Well, even when we played recently, and the cool thing about it is you get points that you can spend in areas of the battle pass as long as you're high enough level.
Yes.
So
That's what I wish
really
they did
cool.
in MCC. And they did it to kind of an extent in MCC where you can buy any item on that one page, but you have to buy the whole page before moving to the second page or whatever.
Right.
I do wish they did what Fortnite would do where you could buy any item that you want within the pass as long as you have the currency to do so by just playing and having the high enough level to then unlock that section within the pass. But whatever. Indra says, I just wish the store had more at one time. There is something I like about Destiny's storefront where you can literally go back and look through basically every weapon ornament that exists and buy whatever you want.
Yeah, they have like the past release section and stuff. Yeah.
Now, I know we're only like a little over a year in right now to Infinite, but I do hope we get a point in time where we have like a vault of some kind, like a store vault where you could go in and look at all past stuff. I think that'd be really cool. So Funky, welcome back. Fortnite gets a lot of crap, but honestly, it's the least predatory one out there. You know, Fortnite does get a lot of shit, but that game is actually pretty fun. At least the no build mode, because I'm a fucking scrub. Robsy,
yeah.
Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. Greatly appreciated. So, all right, I'm sorry to derail even further, but that's actually it for the competitive news, Will, what do we got next? Rostermania!
Yes, some Rostermania right before Charlotte. What?
Before you say the player names, I'm going to cut you off after you say the team name.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So first off, I'm waiting to see what Josh does here. Luminosity Gaming.
How long will they last?
Great question. It's going to be Bullet, Noble, Magic Coat, Drift, and Nugget for the coach.
Hopefully a lot longer than before, considering they now have the top Mexican team in the entire region.
Yeah.
So good for the players. Honestly, good for them.
Yeah, at least an org did come through for him.
Hopefully that org fucking stays.
Next up, Proton Gaming, Posey, Haynes, Common, Breaking Shot, and as a coach, Jagged Cloud.
Very nice. We've said it before.
Bobs?
Awaba Bobs.
Awaba Bobs.
Awaba Bobs. Do 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 do.
That's exactly where my mind
Awaba
went.
Bobs. Do 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 do.
This is going to be Glory Mo's Fluxer and Respectful with Kronos as a coach.
Who got that reference in the chat? I want to know who got that reference. That'll tell how old people are. It's not even, it's old, but like it's not. Yeah, I want to know. I want to know how many people got that reference. We'll find out.
There we go.
And there's Indra.
Indra
gets it.
Gets it.
Okay, good shit. Beth gets it too. I love this. All right, we're good.
Next up.
Go ahead.
Predevinator on G1.
Oh yeah. Do you want to read it or you want me to read it?
You know this one better than I do. I skimmed it earlier, so go for it.
Okay, so I'm just going to preface this. I have nothing against Predevinator as a person. I've never personally met him, but I imagine he's a swell guy outside of the game. But I will say the statement that he gave wasn't very professional. Kind of felt like airing of the dirty laundry. And now we've had instances where orgs have been aired out in a negative light in the past, and we've seen what's happened in the past. So let's just do it up. Real quick, Danny says, also welcome back, Danny. I know this may be a dumb question, but are rosters final for the entire season, or can changes be made throughout? Changes can be made throughout. There are roster lock periods before major events happen. So yes, there will be windows where trades, changes, anything of the sort can be made. So no, teams are not locked for the season. And it was not a dumb question. Thank you for asking it.
There is a trade deadline though?
Yes. It's in the handbook. I don't know when that date is, but it's in the handbook. Sixtles, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. Let's get into Predevinator's statement on G1. Competitive Halo derailment is what this is called. Feels like the all too common lack of proper communication, says Tools. I can agree with that. Predevinator, this is what he says. I've had a lot of people ask me recently, what am I doing? What happened? Want to join? Are you still with G1? Are you going to Charlotte? Well, the short answer is no. I won't be attending. Here's why. I was originally planning to compete for at least one more year and then retire while hopefully still being involved in the Halo scene in some type of way. As to why all this happened the exact way it did, I'm not too sure. For 13 months, I was fully invested in Gamers First, from educating them on organization expectations on how to manage an organization in a highly competitive esport like Halo. Halo has quite literally saved my life more than once and something I've kept sacred, so all knowledge I had learned or I could apply, I would. I'd never heard of G1 as they were new and only a Destiny clan that released Destiny content. They seemed genuine, and I was immediately sold on what I perceived as the mission to be different and playing for something bigger than yourself. As I'm grinding away in every aspect and going through the organizational checklist to make sure no stone is unturned, I was always met with resistance and doubt. The resistance and doubt came from uneducated leaders providing little effort or contribution, until it was proven to have some success, and then all of a sudden everyone's fingerprints were all over everything. People couldn't wait to get in front of the camera with all types of stories, paint themselves to be the architects, and to act like the sole reason for anything good happening. Convenient. If things ever went bad, you guys were nowhere to be found and didn't want any part of that. Really convenient. Considering being forced into a roster none of us wanted since we didn't condone the lies that were being told behind it. Me being the person I am, I didn't care to take credit or boast about anything if something good did happen. I was just glad all three of the owners could see how much I cared, how much I sacrificed, and how invested in the brand I was. I took honor in wearing the logo and repping the merch, feeling like I'm actually helping build something from the ground up. I think I was just relieved that they all considered me to be a founder in the company. Lies. I treated it with that level of care even before I heard that, but finally being appreciated for it because I cared that much felt good. Okay, let me stop real quick right there. I think I was just relieved they all considered me to be a founder in the company. and then in parentheses, lies. So for the record, he was not.
He was not a founder of the company.
He was not a founder of the company. And while it does suck that you felt that they felt that you were kind of, in a sense, a founder of the company, you weren't.
That is a expectation getting in the way of what was actually happening.
Expectations versus reality, 500 Days of Summer. It's not even really a joke. Like, that movie has a really good representation of expectations versus reality when it comes to relationships.
Yeah.
So go watch that movie and go watch that scene. You'll know what I'm talking about. And then also I want to back up real quick as well to where he says, now again, I don't know Predev on a personal level. Okay. I do not know Predev on a personal level. So I don't know him as a person. I can just judge this statement off of this statement alone. And he says something that goes, for 13 months, I was fully invested in Gamers First, from educating them on organization expectations on how to manage an organization in a highly competitive esport like Halo. Has he ever managed an organization before? So what I'm getting at is, if he has never managed an organization before, how does he know what's best to manage an organization?
Maybe from a player perspective.
Sure.
Just what comes across best. That's
fine. From a player perspective, that's completely understandable. And as we say on the show all the time, we want what's best for the players as well. And Indra, it is a very good movie. Not Grim, welcome back. Back to what he was talking about. Truthfully, I believed in one person more than anyone else and felt like him and I were becoming brothers by having the same drive and will to want to win and take things to a whole other level. Never thought this was how things would go, but that's cool. If there was anything he could do to help the team achieve their goals, he had to be the one to get it done personally, and for the most part, he would, and I still appreciate that. I'd question your choices in the yes men you picked to hang around and the non-existent management and coaching that the team had to deal with for 12 months that y'all attempt to sweep under the rug. I guess we went from that to getting me to sign another 12-month contract in advance with the impression that things would be better moving forward. Only paying me for the first month of it because it was convenient to initiate it at the time, not only to gaslight me during the situation, but keep me in the dark about everything you really had going on without saying a word to me, all while trying to keep me completely restricted. That's a long sentence. Could have been a play on trying to get a buyout for me if I even wanted to play for someone else, but then you had no clause to sever our contract and just decided to stop paying me and boot me from the team Discord instead. Wouldn't be until days after my next scheduled payment, more than a month later, I get a half-assed text about the team going in a different direction. Okay. Doesn't really scream Gamers First to me. You could have had the integrity to speak to me like men, and I would have taken it as a man, and still would have been so deeply rooted into it already that I would have been willing to assist in any way I could have. Since y'all wanted to act like my boys, but then attempted to stab me in the back, I just find it kind of comical. I figured I'd publicly say my piece and give answers to the questions people have been asking me for quite some time, and I'll let you guys know why you won't see me next week. And let you guys know why you won't see me next week. I love Halo and I love competing, but things being handled in the manner in which they were has left a bad taste in my mouth and made my choice to walk away and retire from Halo way easier than it should have been. Good luck to everyone at HCS Charlotte. Don't ever directly take a stab at me, intentionally try to sabotage me or my finances, which affect my family. Learn to treat people better, learn to treat your employees better, and learn to treat your veterans better. This is the most professional I'll be. And Tools said it. It does sound like a terrible contract. And I'm going to be an asshole. Will, what do I say?
A lot of things. What?
He signed the contract.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're signing something that big or that important, It's all in the details, right? You got to make sure that
it doesn't sound like the money was guaranteed.
Yeah. While it may have been a 12-month contract, it sounds like there was clauses that if something came up, players were able to be dropped or moved at any point. And that's all got to be detailed in that contract.
It reminds me of the Derek Carr Raiders contract, where if he was something about like being injured or whatever, that he would have all of his money guaranteed.
Oh, yeah.
And so they benched him so he didn't have the opportunity to get injured.
Right.
And now he's no longer obviously going to be a Raider, and they don't have to pay him all that money. But the fact of the matter is, it's in the contract. And if you sign the contract, like, look, man, I want what's better. I want what's best for the players. I say it all the time. We say it all the time on the show. We want what's best for the players. And pre-dev, while I completely respect and understand how upset you are about this, because that does sound fucking shitty to be done like that, to be done dirty like that. Promises are words, right? Promises are words. Unless you have it in writing, nobody's your friend, man. It's all a business. And business is business. If you sign the contract, then you have to face the consequences of said contract as well. The good and the bad. So yeah, it sucks, but what are you going to do?
And I don't know. This is also one side of things.
Correct. And clearly he's upset.
There's different angles. I mean, who knows what actually went on? I think there's some speculation parts in here. It's just, I don't know.
It's shitty, but
yeah.
Tool says, feels like a pro corporate talk to me. Fuck orgs that make predatory contracts. I agree with that statement. Fuck orgs that make predatory contracts. But at the same time, read the fucking contract. Trust me, I don't want the last thing I want is for players to have shitty deals, right? But read the contract. See you later, Tools. Have a good night, man. Riz says, don't most players have lawyers to read over the contracts? No. To answer your question, no. I don't believe they do. Not most. Not most. So, it is what it is. Oh, it's an M2 Pro MacBook Pro, Justin. That's the laptop. But I would say that's it for Rostermania, huh?
Yeah. Let's move on.
The upcoming tournaments of the week presented by noobcombo.com. Check out noobcombo.com for all your Halo esports needs. Daily tournaments, Z League and First Blood. If they're happening, they're happening. If they're not, then I don't fucking know. Friday the 24th to Sunday the 26th with the HCS Kickoff Major Charlotte, Fina fucking Lee. And then on Sunday the 26th we have the Halo Wars 2 6-year anniversary World Cup 2v2. That's going to be fucking lit. I'm excited. That's it for your upcoming tournaments of the week presented by noobcombo.com. Check out noobcombo.com for all your Halo esports needs. Will, Scrim Tournament League recaps. What do we got?
Well, for scrims, go check out Halo Data Hive. The ones they can get up there are up there. I'm not sure. Is he grabbing all of them?
As much as he can.
Exactly. So
as much as he can. Shout out Halo Data Hive.
So if you're looking for any scrim stuff, go look there. We'll start off with the first, cup. And it's the Honda Fan Cup qualifier number 4. It took place on the 18th of February. In 4th place was Spar. 3rd went to Roping In. 2nd, Renegade. And 1st, Sab. So
Renegade and Sab officially qualify for the finals.
Yep.
And there's that.
And that does it for Tournament League recaps.
Awesome. All right, let's get into our first topic of this week. We've derailed the show enough, and I imagine we might again later, but who cares? Topic number 1, HCS Charlotte preview. Fina fucking Lee, we are here.
Yes.
It is this week. The first major of the season, the first LAN event of the season. Holy hot fucking damn. Let's talk about it. The event format will be very similar to what we saw in year one. We made a few refinements now that we've got a full year of global competitive results to build from. Here is what you can expect. That's right, Scoob. Open bracket. As is customary, there will be an open bracket featured at the Charlotte Major and every major in 2023. This will take place on Friday, February 24th, and will start and end on the same day. I still would love to fucking see that happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but hey, I would love to be proven wrong. The bracket will be filled by the first 96 teams to purchase a pass. The top 4 teams from the open bracket will move on to pool play, 2 from the winner's bracket and 2 from the loser's bracket. They'll be placed into pool play and will have a shot to earn a spot in the championship bracket. Pool play. The top 12 teams from qualifiers will be starting the tournament from pool play on Friday, competing in a best-of-5 round-robin format as is customary. You'll notice this number is slightly reduced from year one. We've made this decision to increase the competitiveness of pool play as well as the competitiveness of the open bracket. We expect to see more intense matches, a more intense championship bracket, as well as more competitive teams coming out of the open bracket. As with last year, each of the 4 competing regions will have a set amount of slots in pool play and open bracket, which we've also adjusted based on year one results. In other words, other regions get fucked. The regional breakout is as follows. North America, 8 pool play slots, 2 open bracket travel coverage slots. Europe gets 2 pool play and 2 open bracket travel coverage slots. Mexico gets 1 and 1, and Australia and New Zealand gets 1 and 2 respectively. Important note, as with last year, all teams in pool play will receive travel stipends. Additionally, as with last year, we're still providing regional travel support for the next top teams regionally, so there's still meaningful global participation at the majors, and those teams have the chances to prove themselves worthy of qualifying for pool play and the championship bracket. And guess what? That stipend is supposed to come right after the event. I doubt that's actually going to happen, but, we got to keep our hopes up, guys. Okay? It's all we can fucking do now is hope. More like cope. Championship bracket for the Halo World Championship 2022. The top 2 teams from each pool went to the winner's bracket. The 3rd place team went to the loser's bracket, while the 4th place team was gone. And in 2023, we're going to replicate that format. Like with the pool play changes, our aim is to overall create a more competitive format where the matches are also higher stakes along the way. We felt this was a success for the World Championship because we got so much fucking backlash at the beginning that we decided to make a last-minute change because it was a smart thing to do. And we're excited to see it in action for the majors. Jesus Christ. There's a $5,000 tournament. As usual, the Charlotte Major will also feature a $5,000 FFA tournament open to all event attendees. Pre-registration is open right meow. You can do so. Open the show notes, exclamation point show notes in chat. Go to the link that's in the show notes for the article that I'm literally reading. And there's a link to pre-registration in there if you're interested. Yet no best of 7 for losers finals. Malum, you are preaching to the fucking choir, my man. Preaching to the choir. Welcome back. Good to see you, by the way. Did he say meow? I did say meow. Meow is in right now, but right meow. Can't wait for 6 months to get my $3,500 back. Scoob, that's exactly what I'm saying. It ain't going to be right after the event. And if it is, hey, Scoob, seriously though, in all honesty, if it is like right after the event or very shortly after the event, will you please try to remember to let us know? Because I would love to actually have like a sliver of good news. You know what I mean? Like I genuinely want this to be the case where you guys actually get your money relatively quickly after the event happens. Genuinely. And if it does happen, I'd love to know so we can shout it out. And if it doesn't happen, I'd love to know to shout it out as well.
And make sure you're reaching out to them too. We've heard, I believe we talked to someone in the space where it says sometimes it just takes reaching out and not waiting for it to come.
Yeah, we saw there was a player that competed in the E United tournament that never got paid, and Burns actually replied like, hey, even with the org being defunct now and whatnot, like he's like, I'll look into this and make sure you get your money. Like that's awesome. But all it took was that person reaching out. Should that person have to reach out? No, not necessarily. But If it is an extended period of time, then make sure to try to. Floppy, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. Greatly appreciated. And thank you, Scoob, as well, for trying to remember just in case. Because again, I would love to talk about it regardless of the way it goes. We want you to get your money as soon as possible, obviously, but even if it doesn't happen, I want to make sure to be like, hey, why the fuck aren't they getting their money right away? Where can you watch the tournament? Well, A stream, twitch.tv/Halo or youtube.com/Halo. B stream, twitch.tv/HCS or youtube.com/Halo Esports HCS. And the co-streamers, they haven't even announced yet. Yay! And then also, I know that LVT will be broadcasting the C and D stream matches. If they have C and D stream matches, I don't know. I think they are. Either way, they said that they'll be casting them on their own channel as well. So, do that. They do have C and D streams. There you go. They'll be casting those. Hell yeah. Twitch drops new HCS season, new exclusive drops. Tune into the HCS Charlotte to unlock the Death Hex weapon coatings. Fans joining us live on site will receive a code card at check-in that grants all drops. Days 1 through 3, you can get the AR for watching co-streamers for 2 hours. Again, days 1 through 3, you can get the sidekick by watching the main broadcast for 2 hours. Days 2 and 3, you can get the commando for watching the main broadcast for 2 hours. Day 3, you'll get the Bulldog by watching the main broadcast for 2 hours. And then day 3, you'll get the BR for watching the grand finals for 45 minutes because they finally made it not 2 hours anymore.
Because they don't always go 2 hours.
Yep, that's a good change, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause. Can we get a round of applause in chat for making grand finals time for the Twitch drop like drastically less? Pancakes, welcome back. Good to see you. Your talent for the event includes Lottie as the desk host, Blaze, Sport Mode as the stage host, Clutch as the analyst, and then we have Bravo, Onset, Gaskin, Shurzy, Walshy, and Tony. Why not? All as casters. Hell yeah. Season 3 showcase on February 26th at 9 a.m. Pacific time at twitch.tv/Halo. Team Grass will be going up against Team Roots. Really clever, guys. Team Grass is Ubernick, Oath, Taquin, and Louis V. Titan, and Roots is Echidna, Eli X, Reclaimer, and Real Life Spartan, and they will be more than likely playing on the Season 3 maps. You know? Will.
Yeah.
We haven't used a soundbite in a little while. Can I get a little roster recap? Roster recap. Thank you very much. Snag, welcome back. Good to see you as well. Hop in and the first thing I hear is Sport Mode. I almost forgot what it was, but Blaze is the stage host, and you know the story, Snag, and it was awesome. It was fucking hilarious. Go watch our Worlds After show for that story. You remember?
That was KC.
That was KC? I thought it was... Oh, it was KC. I'm an idiot. Go watch the KC post show and enjoy that because that was fucking hilarious. All right, pool play roster recap. Will, do you want to go through them? Will, I'm going to let you go through them. My throat hurts.
Oh, all right then. I feel like most people would know these already, but we'll run through them. FaZe Clan, Frosty, Renegade, Royal 2, and Snakebite. Optic is APG, Formal, Lucid, and Trippy. G1, Boo Boo Doo Falcated, Sabinator, and Suspector. Native Red, Druck, Manny, Soul Snipe, and Talik. Space Station, Bound, Eco, Penguin, Stellar, Believe the Hype. Bohm, Monster, Neuronical, and Precision. Sentinels, King Nick, Collect, Lethal, Spartan. Shopify Rebellion, Carmea, Mental, Rain, and Ride Noob. Navi, Jimbo, Mighty, Snaky, and Snipe Drone. Quadrant, Legend, Sika, SLG, and Chick. Coyotes, Bullet, Magico, Noble, and Drift. And Divine Mind is Berserk, Madsy, Slays, and Sways.
Isn't it Coyotes?
Did I say Coyotes?
You say Coyotes.
Coyotes.
Sweet.
Sure.
But now they're Luminosity, so it doesn't matter.
That's true.
Yeah. Sick. All right. Those are your pool play teams. Let's get to the pools. Pool A. Will, the first place team should be easy in these cases, but I want you to give me second as well. Try to give me second as well. So let's just go through Pool A.
Okay.
FaZe Clan, Rebellion, Shopify Rebellion, Navi, and then an open bracket team that eventually comes in. So who takes first in the pool, Will?
FaZe.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Who takes second in the pool? Because you did mention earlier before we started recording, there could be a couple teams that come up through open that could cause some shakeups.
Right. I mean, you got to go Shopify, right?
Yeah, I'd go Shopify.
Yeah.
I'd go Shopify. They have... Navi could do something here, but I don't know. Shopify feel kind of like a little dark horsey to me. You know? Feel a little dark horsey to me. I don't know. Pool B. Optic Gaming, Sentinels, Quadrant, and an open bracket team. Who takes first?
Optic.
Crazy, I know. But who takes second?
This is where things could get shaken up for me,
Yep.
depending on what open bracket team comes through. But with what information I have, you got to give it to Sentinels over Quadrant. You're not?
This is tough. Spartan, Tyler has seemed pretty down bad in how Halo's being played online recently. And I don't know if that team, I don't know if they're ready. I don't know if they're ready yet. They have the talent. I've always said they have the talent. It's just whether or not they have the teamwork yet. And just spoiler alert, I see Quadrant winning everything in Europe anyway. So they're like the new Ascend to me, you know?
Okay.
I trust in my boy Collect. I'm going to say Sentinels. I see the chat saying Quadrant. Seeing some Navi love in there too. But I'm going to trust. I'm going to trust that on LAN they'll do something. I'm not saying they're going to go far. I'm just saying they'll take second place in their pool. What's the pool of death this year? Probably D, just because of the two teams that are, or C. Kinda. Let's talk about it. Pool C, G1, Believe the Hype, which I don't think anybody saw going where they're going. Luminosity, which is the top Latin American team, or Mexican team in this case. And then an open bracket team.
I got G1 first.
Same.
Then Believe the Hype.
Yeah, same. I will say this. If a native white comes through into Pool C, or another top open bracket team comes into Pool C, okay, it has to be Pool C. It has to be Pool C. If a top open bracket team comes into Pool C, they could take second. I could see that team taking second in the pool. But if there isn't a top tier open bracket team that comes in, I'm talking like that just missed it. I'm talking about just missing qualifying for pools from the qualifier. Okay? I'm talking like that. If one of those teams makes it into Pool C, I could see that team taking second. But if that doesn't happen, then Believe the Hype will take second in that pool. This is the only pool I can see something like that happening.
Okay.
Because I really don't see something like that happening in Pool D.
Agreed.
Pool D, we have Native Red with a higher seed than Space Station, and then Divine Mind and an open bracket team. Genetics, welcome to the live show. It's going well. How are you? Max Ether, welcome back to the live show. I should say, says Pool A as well. If Shopify looks bad on LAN, that could be, but I don't think they're going to be bad on LAN. They have the experience. Rain and Ryanoob have the experience on land. I don't see them being a problem. Like with Sentinels, all of them have experience on land. My only problem with Sentinels is the chemistry. If the chemistry isn't there, like I said, the talent is there for Sentinels, but if the chemistry is not there, it could be a disaster waiting to happen. So, I don't know. Looking forward to Charlotte as well. Genetics going to be a good time. Hopefully. No, it's going to be a good time. Pool D.
Yeah. I got Space Station taken first. They're a
absolutely
different beast on land.
Yeah, this shouldn't even...
Land.
Now, Native Red shut everybody up at Worlds last year.
Yeah.
Including me. They shut everybody up. But I still believe we all know, and for those who don't know, let's educate the folks, right? Space Station is not a good online team. They've never been that good of an online team. Genetics, thank you for the sub. You get a woo! They're not Space Station, aka former Cloud9. They're not a good online represented team. But they perform like a motherfucker on LAN. Okay? So much so that they literally took second, besides Raleigh, where they took first, but they literally never placed outside the top 2 in any major LAN event last year. That's how good they are on LAN. So they should handily win that pool is what I would assume. But obviously second goes to Native Red, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't care what open bracket team comes out of Pool D. Like it's going to be SSG than Native Red. In my opinion. And yes, Genetics, just wait. They will perform way better on LAN. They always do. Yes, they have a new coach in Elamite, but all those 4 players from that roster are still there, so I would just assume that that's what it's going to be. So we'll see. All right. Let's get to the schedule, shall we? This is for Friday because obviously we don't know what the schedule is going to be on Saturday and Sunday because of the matches. But on the A stream, the Optic ring ceremony. So they'll give out the World Championship rings to Optic right before their first match of the day against Sentinels, no less. Taking place at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Then we have the Halo Infinite Season 3 trailer premiere. Oh boy. That's at 1:30 Eastern. Also at 1:30 Eastern, we have Shopify Rebellion going up against Navi. Then at 3 Eastern, we have Sentinels going up against Quadrant. At 4:30 Eastern, we have FaZe going up against Rebellion. And at 6 Eastern, we have Native Red going up against Space Station. That'll be... What a great match to end A stream on.
Yeah.
Holy moly. That'll be rocking.
We'll put a scenario in front of you, too, where Quadrant comes out ahead on Sentinels. If anybody on that team gets too tilted off after the Optic series, and then they play Quadrant, granted, it's 3 hours later.
It is 3 hours later, yeah.
But you never know. Just saying.
Oh, man. Oh, no, there's the dick twist. Oh, Genetics is Connor. I'm an idiot. I totally blanked out on that. I'm so sorry. God damn. All right. B stream. At noon Eastern, FaZe goes up against Navi. At 1:30 Eastern, G1 go up against Luminosity. And then at 3 Eastern, G1 go up against Believe the Hype. At 4:30 Eastern, Optic Gaming against Quadrant. And at 6 Eastern, Believe the Hype go up against Luminosity. And then the C stream, just a couple matches listed here, both against Divine Mind, Native Red and Space Station at 1:30 and 3 p.m. Eastern Time, respectively. All right, Will.
Yeah.
I forgot to just include the bullet point here, but before we get into our preseason predictions for the entire year, predictions for Charlotte.
Right, which we
kind of get to, yeah.
So I have my placings all the way 9 through 12.
Wow. Look at you.
Came prepared.
Go for it. What do you got?
All right.
I'll let you go first this time.
9 through 12. I have Navi, Quadrant, Luminosity, And this is kind of a hopeful, so I think they need more time to cook, so to speak.
Native white?
Native white.
Okay.
But that's kind of, maybe.
Sure. I respect it.
7th and 8th, I have Sen and Believe the Hype. 5th through 6th, I have Native Red and Shopify Rebellion. I had a tough time.
You have Native Red still being a 5-6 team.
I had a tough
love it.
Yes, I had a tough time on with if they should move up to 4th for me here. But in 4th, I did put G1.
Okay.
3rd, SSG.
Okay, yeah. Now, who do you have winning it?
Winning it all. Well, of course, I wore the FaZe hoodie because I have FaZe taken first. Optic then comes in second.
Okay.
I think, how do I put this? Watching Optic streams and their attitude, they haven't been like, what is the phrase? Nose to the grindstone.
Yeah.
As much lately as they were before Orlando and Worlds. And I think that's going to hurt them. And FaZe takes this win. I think they're just a little, I don't know, something just doesn't seem right with the way Optic's been running lately to me. So I don't think they're gonna take it home. They might even drop to 3rd. And SSG keeps that never missing a grand final streak. It was just hard to move them to 3rd after winning Worlds.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I hear you. And something I always did last year was doubt Cloud9 at the time, now SSG, and look what they did every single event.
Yeah.
Okay. I will agree with basically everything you said, including the top placings. So 4th G1, 3rd SSG, 2nd Optic, 1st FaZe. Because I do believe FaZe will win the first event of the year. But I think that Luminosity will be a top 12 team. Where do you have Luminosity?
Let me go.
Or the Coyotes, I guess.
9 through 12.
Okay. I thought you had them like top 8. Who's 7th, 8th for you?
Sentinels and Believe the Hype.
Okay. So yeah.
They did. Believe the Hype was even kind of, you never know what they're going to do. They placed well online.
Yeah.
But that might not transition to land.
This might be the first time that I fully agree with. This might be the first time we fully agree on predictions right now. I think the first time ever.
Yeah.
I genuinely think this is the first time that we've fully agreed on predictions. I don't think I could think about anything different right now. Unless the only wrench I'll throw into the gear is Native Red over G1. So Native Red taking 4th, G1 taking 5th, 6th.
Right, and that's honestly where I struggled. When I got to that, I was like, ugh, who do I move on? And I don't know. I think G1's coming with some heat this year.
So you know what? I am going to throw the wrench into the gear. We're not going to agree. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to say G1 take 5th, 6th, and Native Red get bumped to 4th. That's what I'll say. Don't sleep on leftovers. Hey, man. I wish them the absolute best. I fucking loved what I saw out of them in the qualifiers. The fact that they were literally just a literal leftovers from other teams, a ragtag group of players who came together and just showed the fuck up and almost literally qualified for Worlds. For pools. Jesus, I'm thinking way ahead of time here. Leftovers in Worlds. Confirmed. Dude, I really hope they make it through Open, and I hope they put on a show in the pool play, because I love that story. And we stand King J too, so it's like,
yes,
how could you not?
Right. Maybe they're one of those open bracket teams that just gets in a good spot and messes things up.
It could be. It'd be fucking awesome. Malum says, I think 4th versus 5th, 6th for G1, depending on Boo Boo's consistency. And that's my problem, right? Are Native White going to make it? I think out of Open, yes. Slippery. Welcome back, by the way. I think they do make it out of open into pools. I think they're one of the 4 teams. Knowing Jay's luck, he'll get pool A. That fucking the blow, man. I'm telling you, man, the pool, I truly believe that the team who makes it into pool C from open bracket will have a real shot at doing something fun.
And those are chosen at random, right?
No, I think it's off seeds. I think it's off seeds coming out of open. I don't think it's random. I think when I made brackets for other tournaments, I think it all follows the same structure.
Okay.
So I don't think it's random. But no, Malum, I agree with you. And that was the one thing we talked about last week as well, is that I know everybody loves Jesse. Like, I know everyone loves Boo Boo, and I do too. But he's not consistent enough for me. And that's my worry. He puts in the work. We know he grinds for it. We know he wants it. It's my one worry about that team, man. It's him and Falcator are together again. They got the duo thing going again. They have a stacked roster. He needs to be consistent. He needs to be consistent. So, we'll have to wait and see. Indra, I do want to see more teams have a good crack at FaZe. I think FaZe has Optic's number this season. I don't think they do. I don't think either of them have each other's number. I think that this is going to be a year of a quote-unquote rivalry between both teams. I think those are the teams that are going to be. I'm sorry, SSG, and I know I doubted you all year last year, and you proved me wrong every single event last year, but I truly believe that it's going to be the Optic FaZe show. Like, they're going to have the grand finals matches for most of this year. So, but then again, I've always doubted them, and they've always proven me wrong. So we could see them in the grand finals every single event this year. Who the fuck knows? Tetrify, welcome back. I almost think the old team in the long term could have been better, but we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. We shall see. Indra, we only have online to go on. So online is online. LAN's a completely different beast. But at the same time, we do know the rapport that we do know the resume and the rapport that all the members on this current FaZe roster have. Multiple world championship winning players. All 4 of them. I mean, Renegade won one of them, but still, like, multiple tournament wins, multiple world championships. That team knows what the fuck they need to do. But when Optic is clicking, when Optic is firing on all cylinders, they are, people I think are just, this is going to sound weird. Actually, you know what? I'll say this. After FaZe made their roster announcement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bringing Renegade in for lethal, and everyone's like, game over. Like, that's it. I swear to God, everybody was sleeping on Optic again. Like, they just forgot they existed. It truly feels to me like they just forgot Optic existed. They just think FaZe are going to win everything. When Optic are firing on all cylinders, they are an absolute force to be reckoned with. You literally saw what happened at Worlds last year. They lose that first they lose that first grand finals series. They had that short break and they completely regained. I'm not saying FaZe can't do that, because we know they can. We know what they're capable of doing. But you can't forget what Optic is also capable of doing. You just can't forget. So it's going to be fun. It is going to be fun. All right. Real quick, before we move on to our second topic of the show. For those that are going to be at Charlotte, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Come find me. I'll have free stickers. If you don't like stickers, you're fucking wrong, because how could you not like stickers? And they're free. And if you want to know what the stickers are, I will have the traditional logo that we have here in color and in black and white, but exclusive to the event, I will have exclusive colorways of our logo that have colors associated with the Carolina Panthers and the Charlotte Hornets, the two major sports teams in the Carolinas. So if you're there, come find me, get free stickers. It's going to be great. And if you want merch, our merch store is live, ! Merch in the chat, but we will have an exclusive Charlotte line going live on Friday. So stay tuned for that. That will have that colorway of that logo on some merch. It's going to be a good time. Shaggy Nades, welcome back. Says, love catching the live show. So much Halo drama. There's always Halo drama to talk about. And thank you for the primer. 2 months. Thank you so much. You get a woo! Greatly appreciated. Hell yeah. Let's get to our second topic of the show. Our too early to tell predictions. Our too early to tell predictions. We are going to predict every single event of the year. Our predictions are always wrong. So this will be fun. Now, and we also have some questions we're going to go through. Now, there are some caveats and stipulations before we get into this. They are. These predictions are being made with the thought in mind that no roster will change throughout the season. It's a tough ask, okay?
Right.
It's a tough ask. But, okay? And these predictions are being made based on the initial roadmap provided by the HCS as of February 2023. Therefore, if any event gets added, these predictions are not including those. Okay? This is based off the roadmap that we have right now. For every major and the Halo World Championship, each co-host will have the opportunity to change their pick for the winner of the event during the preview episode of said event. So this would be the episode that we would have the ability to change our top pick for Charlotte, and that's it.
Okay.
For the rest of the year, we make our predictions now. And so for Fort Worth, the Fort Worth major, we would have
a pre-show.
That pre-show, we can make the one change if we wanted to. Okay? But these are our predictions for every event for the entire fucking year. Do we want to do the events first and then the questions? Or the question?
Let's do the questions first.
Questions
they were
first.
listed first.
Okay. Will Optic Gaming have a booth at every major this year?
I said yes. They regretted not having one at KC, and the Greenwall will spend. Plus, with all the events in Texas, they're right there, and it should be pretty easy.
Now, we said every major, so not the SSG event and not the...
True.
Right, and not the DreamHack event. We just said every major. I said yes? ? I'm going to say yes. But my worry is that they're not going to have one at Charlotte.
Really?
Yep. Now, I know that Tashi said that they're holding all the teams to a higher standard in the partnership program, and that includes booths at events. But I'm going to say yes. Real quick. Okay, can I go to the right thing? Jesus Christ. Sofa Dead. Love the content. So glad you guys do this for the community. Thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciated. Thank you for consuming the content. Indra says, I'm wondering if Optic doesn't take home any grand finals win this season, which is unlikely. I wonder if we see Formal move away from HCS. Can definitely see him moving on after this year, but we have predictions to get to. And I do have FaZe winning one thing. Optic. So which major team will make the first roster change of the season?
I have two I have two listed here.
Okay.
So I read the question wrong. So
I'm sorry. I was trying to base it off the question that you asked.
Make the first roster change.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to go with this then. I'm going to say Sentinels.
I took your answer when you said it the other night. We were just chatting on the steps. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that totally makes the most sense. And Sofa says it as well. So
Yeah, they're not going to initially perform how they expected to. There might be some more tension on that team based on who's on that team. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, Well,
I want to know legitimately, like all jokes aside, I want to know if there is actual beef between Lethal and Spartan. And like, if there is, that could blow up.
It could. I also agree. There have been people who said, man, you just got to put your head down and play sometimes and work through things.
Mm-hmm.
So I said Sentinels. What about you?
I said Sentinels as well. Like I said, I stole your answer from when we were talking privately before because it just makes the most sense. But we'll have to wait and see. Ronan, if Optic loses at Charlotte, we blame Formal or APG. We're not blaming anybody. I think it's stupid that people do that. I think it's really fucking stupid that people blame APG.
It's the whole team, right?
Yeah, it's a team game.
You are a team. You got to lift each other up.
There's a
work together, get things handled.
There's a space station video that released today regarding their Worlds run, well, Cloud9's World run, now SSG, from last year, right?
Yeah.
And how they got second again. And Eco was blaming himself. Like he talks about how he was blaming himself for the loss in the grand final. And he talked about how his teammates came up to him and be like, no, it's not your fault. We all could have played better. It's a team game. It's a team game. It's not one person's fault. I know that Twitch chat is Twitch chat, and I know that the internet is the internet, and so people will look at stat lines, right? The people did the same thing to Lethal on Sentinels back in the day. People looked at stat lines and were like, he's clearly the weakest link. He's got to go. They're never going to win with him, right? Same thing was talked about APG and all that shit. It's slander. It's just stupid. And I'm not saying this like a fanboy or anything. Like, seriously, it's stupid that people always do that, is that they just find somebody to blame when it's not that individual's fault. It is a team-based game. Halo has always been a team-based game, and Infinite feels even more so. If one player doesn't play that well, everybody could be playing better. Everybody could be positioning themselves better. Everybody could be helping each other better. It's a team game. Yeah, I said Sentinels to make the first change as well. Will an EU team break top 6 at any globally represented event this year?
Ooh.
So for the record here, that is not just majors. That includes global invitationals.
I said no.
I said yes.
I think if the team was, it would be Quadrant.
Yes, I agree with that statement.
But I feel
or Navi.
So the competition at the top, right, got a little tighter with FaZe being there now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think other teams are going to start to catch up to that in North America. And what we hear a lot is EU teams don't get practice against the North American squads.
Nope. So
I feel like there will not be an EU team that breaks top 6.
I completely agree with you, and that's a very logical explanation. And typically I go with logic over feelings as well. This is going to be a hope thing. I'm just going to hold out hope that there is an EU team that is able to break top 6 because it's never happened.
Oh yeah. And don't get me wrong. I'd love it.
Yeah.
It's just, I think that the competition's getting more and more tough.
Yep. And with this question, we're including 2 additional events with DreamHack and the SSG Global Invitationals. So giving them a little bit extra opportunity to do something. So I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes for an event. They will. Top 8 NA teams are so good this year, though. I mean, hey, we saw what was. Keep in mind, I know that the roster isn't the roster anymore, but keep in mind what Ascend almost did at Worlds. Keep that in mind. What Ascend almost did at Worlds. I know we're talking in hypotheticals here. We're talking about what ifs, depending upon like if that game 5 against United went a different way, if they were able to beat Sentinels when they played them. Like, all these are what if scenarios. But look what they almost were able to do. And I know that roster isn't the roster anymore, but I think an EU team has a chance. Whether it be Quadrant, whether it be Navi, I think one of them has a chance. All right. Will Optic Gaming go back-to-back in World Championship wins?
I have some notes. They can, if they put the work in. I feel like that has stopped a little bit recently. Mm-hmm. I also know teams don't want to stream scrims as much right now. So it could just be that we're not seeing it. But they need to learn how to counter phase, in my opinion. I feel like they're the new powerhouse right now. And learn to come out hot is a note I had. You look at that grand finals at Worlds, and it often happens with Optic that they need some time to get going. And I feel like like I said, the competition getting the way it is, they need to come out stronger earlier. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to say, yes, they will. I think there's going to be some ups and downs during the season. I think Formal's hungry. I know Lucid's hungry.
Yep.
APG has been playing insane. And you can't forget about Trippy. He's been great. He's been Lucid's duo for a while, right? And I think they'll. I think they can do it.
So what's your answer?
Yes.
I say no, and I think FaZe will win Worlds this year.
That's fair.
I don't have notes. It's my answer. Will Lucid win back-to-back MVPs?
Again, we talked about this beforehand.
We did.
And considering it's player voted, no. I believe the players will want to spread the love, is the way I put it.
I agree. My answer to that is no as well. Will SSG win a single event this year?
No. Need to see improvement from Bound and teamwork setup to topple Optic and FaZe.
I said yes.
You think so?
I said they will win an event this year. Will the top team in the Mexico or Australia, New Zealand regions place better than top 8 at any globally represented event this year?
No.
Agreed.
You lost tapping buttons and barcode to
Native White.
You had the best players that were carrying those regions. Now, in North America, I don't see these teams coming through.
Yep, I agree. I say that no Mexico or Australia, New Zealand team will place better than top 8. Who will have the highest KDA at the end of the season?
Renegade.
I said Lucid.
Okay.
Because, well, not because, but okay. Who will win main Slayer of the year?
Frosty BB.
I'm saying Renegade.
Renegade, yeah.
Yep. Who will win coach of the year?
I'm going to say because of the success, Royal won.
I agree with you. Here's my problem, though. I wonder who these are voted on. If these are voted by player, I want to say Royal won. If these are not voted by player, I don't see him winning it.
Interesting.
Just because of what happened last year.
Yeah, very possible.
Yep.
Very possible.
Which I think is bullshit, but I think Royal 1 should win coach of the year. Who will win objective player of the year?
I'm looking at my list and I don't like who I put here because I feel like I picked it too soon.
Go for it.
Let's just say APG.
Okay, I'm saying Snakebite. I'm saying he gets back to back.
All right.
Because if you think about it, here's my thought process on this. All jokes aside about these awards, and you might not necessarily think of Snakebite as being the objective player of that team, because everybody's able to do everything. It's what we've talked about with what pro players have said. Every player should be able to do everything.
Yeah.
But they even talked about, because Snakebite in his video talked about one of the reasons why they wanted to bring Renegade in is because he can do it all, but he's known for his slaying prowess, right? And I think he talked about how having Renegade on, having John on, and allowing him to do what he does opens other possibilities for the rest of them to do what they do. And we already know what Frosty and Royal 2 were capable of doing in the Slay department, right? So what does that leave? That leaves Snakebite. So I'm going to say he goes back-to-back on winning Objective Player of the Year. What about C9's old coach? Where did he land? Hoaxer is on G1. Yes, Hoaxer is on G1. Hoaxer is the coach for G1. Illuminite is the GM of G1, if I'm not mistaken. Kyle says, who's going to get the most fines? Ooh, I mean, that's kind of a given, right? If fines are being given out, we kind of already know who's getting, If G1 does something special, he has a chance. I love Hoaxer to death. Love him, love his brother, love them. I just don't see G1. Like if I were to put a blanket statement on this, because these are predictions for the entire year, I don't see G1 placing higher than top 4 all year. With the likes of FaZe, Optic, and SSG, I don't think they place higher than top 4 all year. I would love to be proven wrong right now because, again, these are preseason predictions for the entire year. So we're bound to be wrong. But if I was just to put a blanket statement on it. Okay, who will win support player of the year?
I put Trippy.
Ooh, I like that pick. That's a good pick. He was also in my mind. But this, I have a twofer.
Oh, no.
I have either APG, okay, because he can really do it all on that team.
Yeah.
Or, depending upon... Now, again, this is all thinking that they're going to stay together.
That's true.
I'm going to say Lethal. Little dark horse candidate in there.
Yeah.
Someone you'd never expect, right?
They have to step up their performance.
They do.
Yes,
they really do.
I see the vision.
It'd be funny. Kills and Sound. Oh, my God. Sound Boy Killer. Thank you guys for the follows. Welcome to the live show. Penguin, yes, is underrated, but I think Penguin won last year. That's why I didn't include him. Now, granted, the same people said about Snakebite. He won Objective Player of the Year last year, but like, I don't know. Who will win MVP of the year?
I think with FaZe's success, it'll go to Renegade.
I agree. It'll go to Renegade. Who now this is not an official award based off of last year, but I included this in here as kind of like a why not, you know? Who will win most improved of the year?
This one. I thought about, and you know what? A Barcode coming over.
Ooh.
From Australia and New Zealand.
I like that pick.
And learning the North American strats, how things go here. I think he's a good candidate here.
I like that pick. Epic says Mickwin. Here's the thing. I can't say Mickwin because Mickwin didn't play last year. If there was like a comeback player of the year, it could be Mickwin because he literally is coming back. I'm seeing Collects in the chat.
That's who I originally had here. Was Collect.
Sure. I can see that. But really, Collect's first season was last year. So I don't have a lot to base that off either. And he performed really well at Worlds. So obviously, I imagine he's going to improve. I have Boo Boo Doo.
If he gets his consistency together?
Yep. And I think he will. He has his duo back. He has an organization that he's a part of that they built around him. I think Boo Boo Doo. I also put a team in here.
For like most improved team?
Yep.
Okay.
It's FaZe because that dumpster fire from last year.
Well, that's sure.
It's the cop-out answer. Come on. That's the only reason why I put that in there. I'm like, who else would it be?
If I'm looking over the whole season, I'm going to go with Native White because they just got together.
But they never existed before.
Yeah, but if you look at most improved like over the year,
sure,
I think it would be Native White.
I mean, if SSG wins events, it could be them. You know,
that as well.
Technically, they'd be the most improved. They actually started winning. Oh my God.
You're looking at the name?
Yeah. Beg is Dig. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. I apologize if I mispronounced that. My apologies. Sucks. Snipe Down couldn't get a LAN win. Hey, his mind was somewhere else. He had a lot of things happening personally, and we know how much he loves Apex, and we know how much he loves Halo. But, like, I think he's much happier in Apex, and I'm wishing him the best of luck in Apex. Will Native Red win a major this year? No. I do not have them winning a major. I don't. And then, let's get into predictions, speaking of which.
So I just put my winners here.
I have first and second.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm just going to go for first place.
Okay. Charlotte Major, we already said, but go ahead.
FaZe.
And I have Optic taking second, which I believe you do too.
Yes.
The Quadrant Online for EU only.
Quadrant.
I have the same thing.
Yeah.
And I have Navi taking second.
Yeah.
The FaZe online event, which is North American only.
I have FaZe.
I have Optic here. I think Optic finally win an online event against them. Now that there's actually some stakes that are applied to it. This isn't just a qualifier.
Okay.
Because we know traditionally how good Optic can do online. I do think they take it this time. I think they take this online event, with FaZe taking second. DreamHack Dallas, which is a global invitational.
FaZe.
Same thing. Who do you have taking second if I just had to ask? I have Optic for what it's worth.
Yeah, I'll go Optic.
Okay. The Optic Major.
I feel like the hype's going to be real here and Optic's going to take it.
I agree.
FaZe in second.
I agree. This is where the home crowd advantage comes into play. We know their fans are going to be screaming. We know that Hitch will probably be there with his drum. Shit's going to get crazy. I think Optic takes that one as well, and FaZe takes second. The SSG Global Invitational.
FaZe.
I think SSG win this.
I have SSG in second.
I think SSG win this again from a home crowd advantage type situation. Okay. I know it's not like, yeah, I would say, yeah. Home crowd advantage. I think SSG will take that win. With FaZe taking second, I have. The Fort Worth Major.
I give to FaZe.
The curse finally gets broken here. SSG, coming off of their win at their Global Invitational, win this major. And I have FaZe taking second.
I have SSG in second.
Okay. I like where we're at right now. Kind of on the same wavelength a little bit. I like this.
A little bit.
And then the Halo World Championship.
Optic. I think after...
Because you did say they take back-to-back World Championship wins.
So I think what happens, the Global Invitational and the Fort Worth Major...
we're dropping frames. Hold on. God, I love Comcast sometimes.
Are we back yet? I think we're back.
All right. Hopefully. Go ahead.
All right. So I have FaZe and SSG in first, second for the Global Invitational, and then FaZe and SSG again in first, second for the Fort Worth Major. I think Optic is like, guys, we got to get our shit together, and then they come out just firing all cylinders at Worlds.
I can see that definitely happening. I think FaZe win Worlds with Optic taking second. I think FaZe, by the time the world is coming to an end, by the time the season is coming to an end, I think FaZe will have hit top peak form, and I think that they will be an unstoppable powerhouse at Worlds. That is what I believe. And Venom, like Volp said, the primary weapon will not change in the middle of the season. It's too big of a change.
Maybe not the primary weapon, but just weapons on the map. The way the meta of the game and where people go to pick up certain weapons could change.
Right, but he said if the leaked weapon becomes main.
Oh, it becomes main.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm taking that in the other step then. It's always going to be weapon control. That's kind of what it is now. I wonder how the Shroud screen is going to play into things, because that will be a factor. Mm-hmm. Will teams adapt? Will they GA it? Who knows?
Venom, it won't be mid-HCS season. He will not change it mid-season, period. It will not be changed mid-season. It'll be the BR this season, and then if things happen during the off-season next year, then they could change it for year 3 of the HCS. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I have Optic winning a singular major this year, being their own. I have SSG winning a major. I have FaZe winning one. Yeah, one major and then Worlds.
Mine's all phase optic.
I'm telling you, man, I think this is going to be. I think that's going to be the story this year. I really do. I think that's going to be the story this year. And I really hate doing this again because I really feel like I'm doing it again, where I'm doubting SSG all over again, and they're going to be right there, proving everybody wrong again. But when the Sentinels guys went over to FaZe with Renegade being there, that just felt like the move. So it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch. I'd love to see multiple teams win majors, keep everything tight. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Josh, are you saying if FaZe doesn't win one major plus Worlds, they're considered a bust? No, absolutely not. I don't think they're considered a bust. I just think the competition at the top is really big. And that's all we've wanted. It's literally all we've wanted. Like, for instance, let's say hypothetically speaking, that all my predictions are wrong, because that's probably what's going to happen. But let's say all my predictions are wrong, but every one of those grand final series they go to a bracket reset. They go to one of the series goes to a game 7. Like, yeah, they're very close. Am I going to sit here and say that Team A is a bust because they didn't win in that situation? Absolutely not. It just means that competition at the very top is the best as of right now. And I'm very much looking forward to that. Very, very much looking forward to that. So.
Sentinels only won Kansas City, right, last year?
Correct. And that was right after Royal 2 came back.
Yes. So I guess my next question do they have to win more than one major? Or is looking back and dropping Lethal going to be kind of like, oh shit, like we didn't do any better?
I mean, we only have 3 majors.
Right.
So I don't think they need to win more than one. I really don't. Do they expect to lose? No, because I don't think any team expects to lose, And they made that roster change to not lose. But at the same time, with the competition being so tight, I think those top 3 for sure. Maybe G1 and Native Red included in like that top 4 discussion, but those top 3 teams for sure. FaZe, Optic, SSG. Like they are the top of the top.
Yeah.
So I can see those 3 duking it out for wins like no other. Like they're going to be the neck and neck teams throughout the entire year. I just think that when it comes to grand finals time, and again, it sounds like I'm doubting SSG. I have them winning 2 of their events this year, but I think it's going to be the FaZe Optic rivalry. And I should put that in quotes, the air quotes, rivalry, because they don't hate each other. But like those 2 teams going up against each other in those grand finals consistently throughout the year, I think it's going to be the story. So we'll have to wait and see. But those are our too early to tell preseason predictions for the entire year. We have our documents, so we have things to reference as the year goes on. And like we said, the stipulations for these predictions are being made with the thought in mind that no roster will change throughout the season. Rosters will probably change throughout the season. It's a given. But these predictions are being made with the rosters we have today. These predictions are being made based on the initial roadmap based off of February 2023. So if additional events are added, these predictions do not include those, obviously. And the stipulation here, for every major and Worlds, each of us will have the opportunity to change our pick for the winner of that event during the preview episode of said event. Okay? So if things have drastically changed, rosters have drastically changed as we head into Fort Worth or we head into Worlds, whatever, we have the opportunity to change our top pick during that preview episode. So there's that. We are not locked in. I mean, they're locked in as of right now, but we'll have to wait and see. Agreed, Indra. Agreed. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be great. Can't wait. Going to be great. Can't wait. Will.
Yeah.
With the topic being done, shall we move into some regular news? Spotlight. The community spotlight for February 14, 2023. I'm not going to read through it, but feel free to if you want to. It's in the show notes. That's it for the regular news. Got our games to watch. The Rockers suck. Moving on, Methods rejoins Optic as a content creator because, as he said in his retirement speech, the future is green. And he's back with Optic. Congratulations.
We did all right on land, though. We might just be a land team. We just need to get a little better.
I will go on the record right now and say that the placing that we got at that first major is the best placing we're going to get all year. Mark my fucking words.
Let me have some hope, man.
I will let you have your hope.
Please.
I will let you have your hope. But I will go on record right now. And my predictions are always wrong. Okay? That's my loophole in all this. It's that they're always wrong. So it doesn't matter what I say. But I will go on record and say that the Rockers' placing of the first major is the best placing they'll get all year.
I mean, that's probably fair.
They literally lost to one of the worst placed teams.
Online, though. I think they're just shit online.
Give a shit. We're not a good team. That's it for kind of the games to watch. It's time for Will's Avengers with a nail over. Some other games too. Well, for me, but not for Will. Will, what'd you play last week? You didn't put Madden in here. You played Madden, fucker.
Oh, I did play Madden.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I remember.
I played Halo Infinite. Yeah.
Afro is gross. But trust me. Or don't, because my predictions are wrong.
I've been playing some ranked with whoever's been hopping on. So it's been a good time. Getting some sweaty games in, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And then played Madden. I have to specify it's 22 because I don't want to pay for 23, and 22's on Game Pass.
23 is coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, soon.
Yeah. I'm mad at myself, though.
I did franchise mode, did a fantasy draft.
Yes.
And I won the Super Bowl. So there you go.
Hey, nice. With Joey B?
Yeah, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
The MVP of the Super Bowl was actually my running back, Cam Akers.
Nice. Okay.
So
put the team on his back?
Yep. I put a lot of, so you can do like talent trees for your coaches and all this stuff.
Oh, okay.
So
that.
my talent tree for my offensive coordinator was all offensive line stuff. So that helped the run game.
It's funny how we're in an offensive league.
Yeah.
Where offense reigns supreme.
And so a lot of just a lot of grinding running plays. And I did a lot of like swing passes out of the backfield. I have the Rams offensive playbook.
Okay.
And then I forget who I took for defense, but a strong defensive team.
The Bronchies?
I may have even kept with the Vikings because it was Zimmer's defense.
Okay. I was about to say,
It was Zimmer's defense back then. And yeah, I only do the offensive snaps. I wanted to cut down my play time.
Yeah. So
I just do the offense and let my defense do what it does.
Well, you did the most fun part about the game anyway, so.
Right. And so after doing the fantasy draft, it's funny because like every team starts at like, you start and you're 82 overall. Like everybody's 82 overall. So, and then for the draft for this year, I imported a roster and it's like 2000s draft class. So like Peyton Manning. So bringing back a bunch of old players.
Wow.
From when I first got into football. So that's kind of fun.
That's fun.
And then I'll just see if there's other. I know a buddy at work created a whole Avengers draft class.
Okay.
So just a bunch of Marvel characters that you can import. Then you have to like scout them throughout the year and see how well they're going to do. It's kind of fun. I might try to do that for season 2.
Very nice.
So
to touch on what Carnage said, no, I'm not going to play ranked with you guys this week. And Justin answered it perfectly. He said, 0 chance, my guy, not until rank reset. Yep.
Then he'll play 10 games and be done.
Basically, yeah. It's going to be great. Now, I might hype in that grind Onyx chat. You never know. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I played some Halo Infinite Community Playdate. It was a fun time. And then I played some Destiny 2 as well, just preparing for Lightfall.
I'm sorry I missed the Playdate. I ended up that Friday morning, a buddy texted me and he was like, want to go to a Wild game tonight? And I'm like,
fuck yeah, daddy.
He's like, I'll buy tickets if you buy drinks. I'm like, all right, great, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
So I was in.
Great. Good shit.
And we won it in a shootout. It was fun.
Congratulations, Wild.
Apparently, I was the loudest one in the section.
Oh, look at you. Will loves his Minnesota Wild. Very much so, Ronan.
The period, the shootout ended, and we're heading up the stairs, and this like older lady, she must have been 60s, 70s, like reaches over and she goes, "You had fun, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, "You were singing and screaming." I'm like, "Yeah, it was a great time." And she was like, "Good for you," and walked up
Were
the
you
stairs.
drunk?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, yeah. I was like, this sounds like a drunken Will experience right now.
I had 2 shots before I left the house.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You pre-gamed?
4 more drinks at the stadium.
Love it.
And we went back to the same bartender every time, and every drink got stronger and stronger as the night went on. It was great.
Diligent, get out of here.
Go Dallas.
Get out of here.
We just beat them. That's who we played on Friday night.
Bitch. Just kidding. Yeah, definitely excited for Lightfall.
Yeah, Lightfall. Yeah.
Lightweight? You're not a lightweight. You also have diabetes, so, you gotta be careful.
Some medical shit with that, too. So get the fuck out of here with that. No, just kidding.
Fuck you! All right, Will. Let's get into some shout-outs. Shout out to everyone who joined in the community playdate. Not Will. Snag, Overkill, Middle Stud, Goalie Sniper, Elated Dartboard, Pancakes, Gofty. I'm not going to say what we called him, and he agreed upon, but that's besides the point. And Carnage, thank you guys for joining up. Hope it was a good time. Shout out to everyone who followed and subbed during the live show. It Gaming Week, Scoob Meister, Graceface, Conan Rian, I apologize for mispronouncing him again, Zero Shot Kill, Robsy, Sixtles, Floppy, Kills, Soundboy, and Vegas Dig. Thank you guys for the follows, greatly appreciated. And then we also had Outlaw with the 1 monther, Genetic with the 1 month, and Shaggy Nades with the 2 months. You guys get woos! Thank you very much for the resubs and the new subs. Greatly appreciated. Excuse me. Shout out to all of the patrons at the semi-pro and higher tiers. That includes Glenn, Logan, Nergly, Justin, Jordan, Davey, Wavy, Dart, Carnage. Thank you very much for supporting us even further on Patreon. And if you don't know about the Patreon, exclamation point Patreon in chat. Will pimp it out later on as well. Shit's pretty cool. And then happy belated birthday to Jen Taylor, the voice of Cortana, and to the best co-host and friend anybody could ever ask for, Will, a.k.a. I am Mr. Mayhem. Will, it was your birthday on Thursday last week.
Yeah.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Go fuck yourself. I'm just kidding. I hope it was a great birthday. Your gift is on the way, by the way.
Oh, okay.
And I bet you could already assume what it is based off the question that I asked you.
Probably.
Okay.
I don't think I even did it. I worked on my birthday. I went home and did nothing. Played Halo.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got to go to a Wild game, so there you go. That's like a
little
little birthday celebration, you know? Like I said, your gift is on the way. If it comes, depending upon when it gets here, I may just give it to you on the show. So you can show the folks what I got you, even though I guarantee you already know what I got you. So that's besides the point. For those wondering, I asked him who his favorite Harry Potter character is, and you gave me a fucking off-the-wall answer.
Oh,
so
I thought of a separate one after that, too. Like, kind of go... Anyway.
Makes sense now you can finally legally drink? Oh, yeah, because 30 definitely means... Or 31 means you can finally legally drink.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Saying I look 21, thank you.
That's a great compliment.
Yeah.
Definitely don't feel it. That's
no,
damn
hell no.
sure.
The knees, man.
Dude, they're so bad. They're so bad. I built my daughter's bed yesterday. I'm not kidding. I fucking, after standing up after being done with it all, I was like crouch walking. It hurt so fucking bad. I'm like, what is wrong with me, dude?
Yeah.
Fuck. Ronan's 33. Hey, man. So we should be welcome to the club because it's awful. It's awful. Community creations, Halo memes every day, reddit.com/r/Halo memes. We have Hang 'em High, the Flacco remake. Go check that map out. We have Necromancer by RPod. Check that map out. I Would Have Been Your Podcast, episode 1. It's a Patreon exclusive podcast by Podcast Evolved. So if you want to go show our partners some love over there, you can get access to their exclusive podcast. And Halo is infinitely better because of the community. This is by All in Juan. It's a great video. You should go check it out. It's fucking hilarious. And shout out Juan, man. He's awesome. He's fucking awesome. And his edits are amazing. Shout out you. Will. Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, Justin says, Tay wants to know who your favorite Harry Potter character is. Yeah. Will, go ahead.
I told Josh Newt's commander.
From what, Will?
From Fantastic Beasts.
So not even from...
I asked if it included the Wizarding World, and then I would guess if it's just strictly Harry Potter series, probably Sirius Black.
That's a good pick. Oh, man. All right. Well, that's all I got.
All right.
So if you wouldn't mind plugging the show.
If you want more content from us and help support us a little bit, we have a Patreon now. Just did Off the Rails show and Pro Talk plays and other things coming as well. So go check out our Patreon, patreon.com/HCS Pro Talk.
And Will did some extra amazing, incredible editing work on the Pro Talk Plays episode, and I did some mediocre audio editing work on the Off the Rails episode. So if you're interested in our little editing shit, Will did a way better job. Like his is hilarious. Go if you want to support us further, please go check out the Patreon. It's I love the stuff we're doing.
You know, when we were playing and you're like, when you watch this back, you're gonna be pissed at me. I don't know if you remember that scenario.
Yeah. Were you pissed at me?
I put a little text flash on the screen.
Oh, I gotta rewatch that. Holy shit. Whew. Holy shit. Yes, I gotta watch that again. Oh, for reference here, literally, like I'm not trying to sound like a shill for our own shit right now, but in all honesty, like I laughed so hard I was crying.
I'm glad I was able to do
from the Pro Talk Plays episode for this month. I was laughing so hard I was crying after watching Will's edit. Oh man, I was dying. Oh, go ahead. Well, I'm sorry to take away from what you were saying.
You can find us on all your favorite podcast services. Just search for HCS Pro Talk. We're on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, and others like Josh's favorite.
Pocket Cast, not an ad.
Never an ad. Join the Discord. Join the community discussion. Link is provided in the Google Doc of the show notes of the show or on our link tree on our Twitter or ! Discord in chat.
Discussion?
I'm just rattling off too fast. Go follow us on Twitter. We put some information out there. Josh retweets, comments, tweets. He pretty much runs that thing. I'm on there every once in a while. We have an Instagram and a Facebook. Don't use them as much. If you want to watch VODs, any of our interview series, it's all over on youtube.com/HCS Pro Talk.
We're there.
If you're listening and want to watch us live, Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Time on twitch.tv/HCS Pro Talk. We also have a website, www.hcsprotalk.com, that actually redirects you to evolvedhalo.com.
Your home for Halo!
Because we've partnered with the fine folks over at Podcast Evolve. Make sure to check out their awesome shows such as Podcast Evolve, Mission Debrief, Halo TV Plus, Book Club, Build with Blocks, Halo Headlines, and Halo Gear Guide. Josh, that's all I have.
Thank you very much, Will.
What's on the next one?
So, believe it or not, the next episode that we have is going to be our HCS Charlotte post show. So stay tuned for that. We're going to break down the entire event. I'll be there. So like I said, come find me, come say hi, get free stickers. It'll be cool. And also, something else I'd like to know. For those, it goes both ways. For those that are at the event and for those that are watching from home, let us know You can let me know personally at the event. You can let us know in Discord. Please join the Discord. You can let us know on Twitter, YouTube, whatever it is. But let us know your thoughts about the event. What you liked, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see improved. Let us know. Because I'd love to include that on the show as well from other people's perspectives who were there and who are watching from home. So please let us know, and we'll talk about it next week. Ladies and gentlemen, we talked about Boo Boo Doo a little bit today, didn't we?
Yeah.
We're going to go rate up Boo Boo Doo at the end of this episode. So hang tight if you want to go check out Boo Boo Doo's stream. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next week to talk about HCS Charlotte some more. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great rest of your week. Enjoy the Halo this weekend. LAN Halo is finally back. Cannot wait to see the competition out of it. It's going to be a great time. We'll see you next week. But until then.